Okay, so to get started here, we're going to add a foot roll and use set-driven key to do so. So what we want to do here, actually I'm going to select these IK handles and I'm going to hide them by just hitting Control H, just so we don't see those anymore. We don't really need those. And then I'm going to select the L foot control. So after selecting that control, we'll just go to Add Attribute, and in the Add Attribute window, we'll name this first one Foot Roll. So Foot Roll. And then we'll just leave it as a float. And minimum, we're going to set at -5, and then maximum to 10. Default is going to be 0. And if I say Add, now we have a foot roll. We have a foot roll setting, but it looks like I spelled this wrong. So the way to fix that is to go to Modify, Edit Attribute, and then go here to foot roll and just name this what it's supposed to be. So not exactly like that. And then we'll just close that. And that should be good to go. Okay, so from here, what we'll do is go to, I think this is under animation, I believe. So animation, and if we go to key, set-driven key, set option box. Okay, so this is going to be the set-driven key window. So the way to think about a set-driven key is that we have an object or something that we want to actually be affected. So if I want the driver to actually be this, so this object with this attribute. So if I say load driver, so I have this guy selected and say load driver, that comes up here in the left-hand side, so it's just the control. But then I have to actually also select in the right, and this needs to be highlighted. So foot roll. Okay, so driven is going to be all of the objects inside of the foot setup. So if we look here, it's going to be the ankle pivot. Okay, so ankle pivot is going to give us that roll. And then the heel pivot is going to give us this part, so the up, and then the toe group is going to give us this, the toe lift. Okay, so with those two, so these ones we don't need. So it's going to be, so left ankle pivot, heel pivot, and toe group. If we say these are going to be what's going to be driven by when we do the foot roll. So we'll say load driven, which gives us the ankle pivot, heel pivot, and the toe group, and we'll select all those, and you'll notice that the rotation that we want to affect here is going to be rotate X. Okay, so the way you can tell this is that here's the Y, here's the Z. The one that's highlighted is going to be the X. So you can tell X being red, Y being green, blue being Z. So we'll just make sure that all of our rotate X's, okay? So right now we are on what you would consider the 0. Okay, so if I select the control and we're at 0, so this is going to be the base setting. So I want to key all these right away, okay? So once I key those, so that's going to be set on that foot roll. So now if I go to -5, okay, so -5, we want to basically, let's rock our foot backwards. So we're going to go to the heel pivot, and from the heel pivot, we're going to say go, I don't know, maybe let's go -40, let's go -43. That will work. And then we'll just select all three, rotate X, and I'm going to hit a key. Okay, so now you go back to the foot control, and you select that control, you can actually see, so now we have this up like so. Okay, so that's the -5 element. So now what we want to do is get to our toe. So we go ball to toe. So the first part is going to be, so this is going to be on 5. Okay, so at the 5 mark, what we're going to do is actually select the, let's see, the heel pivot. Heel pivot, no, not the heel pivot. We want the ankle pivot. Ankle pivot is going to be off the ball. Okay, so like so. So this one we're going to rotate in X, and we want this to probably be about 45 as well. Nice 45-degree angle. And with all these selected and rotate X, we'll just hit a key. So that's on 5. And then so from here, if we go to 10, the first thing we want to do is with that heel pivot, we want to, let's see, so on this, we want to go, let's see, I just want to make sure that I did that correctly, which I'm pretty sure. So if I go here, so foot roll, and then here, so then 10, what I'm going to do is go off the toe. So with the toe group, and then I can actually rotate that guy up. That one we can do 45 as well. And then the heel pivot, we're going to, not the heel pivot, actually the ankle pivot, and we're going to come off of that one back probably, let's say, 5 degrees. That just still gives us a little bit of forward rotation on that. So with that, all 3 of those selected and rotate X, if we key, so now you'll see that we have this nice bouncy foot roll that we can use. So kind of nice. All right, so let's do that on the other side as well. So here we can just zero this, set that back to 0, and then we'll go over to the right side. And for this one, we just want to make sure that we select those IK handles. Again, IK handles, and I'm just going to hide, so Control H. And from here, go to Modify, Add Attribute, and we will call this foot roll. And we want minimum -5, maximum 10, default to 0, and we'll add that. And so we have that foot roll, and now we want this guy to be our driver. So right foot control, and we're controlling the foot roll. And then the driver now, we want ankle pivot, heel pivot, and toe group to be the driven. So with those 3 drivens and rotate X, we can set a key on our first frame, our first one, and then we'll select the foot control and roll this back to -5. And then we will go to the ankle pivot, and we want this ankle pivot to, oh, not the ankle pivot, we want the heel pivot, sorry, ankle pivot, heel pivot, and we're going to put this at -45. And we will just select all of those and key, and then go back to here and set this to 5. And then from here, we'll select the ankle pivot. And on ankle pivot, we want to give this a 45-degree. So 45, and select all 3, rotate X, key, and then go to the foot control, set this to 10, and then we will go to the toe group and set this toe group to 45, and then go to the heel pivot or ankle pivot and take this down to 5. And then with those 3 selected, we can key that and go to this foot roll. Now we should have a nice foot roll for that as well. So we can close this set driven key, but that's how you build set driven keys. And they can be used for lots of different stuff, turning things on and off, IK, FK switches, all that. You basically have to just kind of set all those items up. I just want to make sure that I didn't undo that. It looks like I'm good. So 0. And that is how you do a set-driven key foot roll setup on our sphere biped. So I'm going to save. And then next, what we'll do, I'm probably going to add, we're going to add like a space switch. And the space switching is just going to, I'm going to set it so the pole vector can either stay with the foot or just it can stay in world position as well. Sometimes this helps with keeping that pole vector ahead of the knee, and so you don't get your knee does kind of stay in place with the foot. It's kind of helpful, and so we'll add that next. So space switching, we'll go over that next. All right, thanks.